Good morning. Our hand today is going to be Ace Queen of Diamonds. We are also shorthanded again. I'm in the blind, and in this hand we have the button limps. Button's playing 48-7. He is playing somewhat loose passive. I do have information that he donks with bottom pair. Doesn't apply here because he is on the button. He's limped and called to raise with nines. When we look at his stats, he's played 48% on the button, race about 10% of the time. Pre-flop, he's called 2 bets 23% of the time. What's important is the limps. His limp first in is 50%, so tends to play. If he plays, he tends to limp, and then when he limps, he typically calls raises. Doesn't really fold. So I kind of looked at the hand. I think I gave him probably a little bit too wide of a hand. I gave him 35.4%. I took out these hands. I assume he would have raised, even though he's limped and called with nines. I suspect that's probably he was early position at that point. So I gave him a pretty wide range. Now it's on us. I do have a raising range versus limpers in the blind, so I do this for small blind and big blind. And generally, it's about 6 big blinds plus 1 for every limper. I raised it to 6 big blinds. Probably should have raised it to 7 big blinds, but we were shorthanded. Here, and I assumed he probably would have called. And maybe if he called, my hand's pretty good, and it should be way ahead of his calling range at this point. So I think my bet should have been a little bit larger. He calls, flop comes jack high. Got 2 overs. I lead. I think this is a pretty good lead because we were the pre-flop aggressor here. I have 2 overs. I have backdoor straight draw, but no, I wish the 8 was a diamond. I bet half pot villain calls. 5 doesn't improve me. I don't think it improves my fold equity. I don't think villain wouldn't fold a spade draw, wouldn't fold a straight draw. I don't think he's folding any pair here, so I check. He checks behind. 10 of spades comes out. I check to him. He bets the pot, bets all in basically, and I fold. So note that at the start of this hand, villain had 35.33 blinds, so I did pay attention to this when I raised. I figured if he's going to shove, I'm just going to call here with ace queen because it doesn't make sense to limp raise with big pocket pairs, and I don't think he's ever really shown anything like that. So we are shorthanded, and that's also why on the turn at this point 24.9, if I bet half pot, I'm basically committing him. I don't want to bet half pot and have to call with just 2 overs. So I just checked with the intention of check folding. Same thing on the river. I checked with the intention of check folding here. He bet and I folded. So what does GTO say? GTO does say that I should be betting 100%. I have such a strong range versus his that I should be betting, taking advantage of that. So I like that bet. Villain's going to be calling pairs. He's going to be calling a lot. It does have him raising some, including raising all in. How much is calling a lot? Well, 38%. He's folding 56%. So yeah, we're betting. We do expect him to fold quite a bit. I don't expect him to fold the 8s. I don't expect him to fold the jacks, but I do expect him, if he's going to play reasonably, to raise with some of these top pair hands to try to get, make it hard for me to play. 5 of clubs comes out on the turn. Now we start slowing down. No big surprise. Again, if we bet 100% of our range, we can't continue betting that. We're going to have our C bet percentage is going to go down. So here it does look like our ace queen is a check. We would continue betting ace queen of spades, but everything else is a check. Ace king is a check. Aces is a check, which might seem a little surprising, but we do want to mix in some of these premium hands along with jacks to protect against ace king, because if we check here, this is a great time for villain to be betting as a bluff, especially shove all in as a bluff, because if he bets, there is a chance that we should be folding with like ace queen, ace king that give him a chance. And when you see this bet, he's doing that with some of his no-mate hands with queen nine, gut shots, king two, just well, those are spades. Yeah, queen 10, the gut shot, straight draws, and so forth. I mean, he's betting those. We are going to be calling. We call with jacks and kings and aces. Even call someone with ace king just to kind of keep him honest. So I do think our check's pretty good. Villain checks behind. Not sure if that was a good decision on his part, but check is 50%. 10 of spades comes out. I think that's kind of a interesting hand here, because I do think Jack 10 could have been playing. I think 10-8, 9-8 could be playing. GTO has us betting, trip 10s, has us betting trip jacks, has us betting aces and kings, the few kings that we have. So if we had bet and he raises, we're basically going to be forced to call those, including with ace king. So I am aware that if we bet, we are basically going to be committed with some of these overcards. But I checked, and I think that's appropriate for the GTO play. Villain comes out and bets out, and really at that point, I think that 10 connects with so many hands of his range that he currently has. I mean, it completes gut shots. It gives him a pair that we can't really just call with two overs. We really can only call with a pair plus. So I think this kind of makes sense. So I think overall in this hand, I think I played it pretty well for GTO. I thought maybe GTO would have found something that I missed about not playing it. I think I probably would have played it the same. So I probably would have been betting 100% here. And then when he calls, and I look at what hands I'm going to bet, I do think I probably would have been continuing to bet our pairs. I think ace jack, king jack, but I think king queen I probably would have checked behind. So I think I still would have bet nines and tens just to be a little bit more aggressive with a pair, knowing that I could always check behind. So let's say I bet, he calls again and that 10 comes out, and then we fire out again, and he's supposed to be calling with a wide range, and I do think he's going to be calling with some of these weaker pairs, 3s and 5s. He's going to be committed at that point. I think exploitatively we could probably not bet those, but I guess versus a loose player who has a lot of different combos and who will probably call. He's 3370, so in position he folds 33% of the time to a C bet, and then it doesn't really look like he folds. But again, small sample sizes. So it is a little bit surprising to continue betting like 9s, 10s, and the king queen, but I think it kind of makes sense given our overall play, because I consider ace king and ace queen to be similar to like king queen. But I know ace king, ace queen does have that ace kicker. We do block a lot of the aces that we have out there, or that might be out there. What if we have a different card? Let's say it's a king of diamond out here, then we still bet. I bet it's ace of diamonds too. We still bet. The overcards, queen less so, but I think aces and king, or ace and king coming on the turn improves our fold equity. It improves our perceived range because we are going to be continuing to see bet with those ace king, ace queen hands. Queen of diamonds, now we're starting to get on the lower side, so ace king misses us, but we're still going to be betting much more frequently than when that 5 came out. What if it was a spade? So ace of spades I think is pretty good because it means he can't have the spade, the nut flush draw. King of spades, I think it's also decent. I mean, I don't think we can go into a hole. We can, kind of slow down a little bit when we have that nut flush, but mostly we're still betting for that power. It's the queen of spades that is a lot different. So notice we went from almost always betting down to only betting 26%. We could still mix in some bets. We're still playing a mixed strategy. We still have to be aggressive, but I think the queen hits not only the hearts, it hits the straight, it hits queen jack hands, it hits like queen 10, queen 9 that I believe are probably in his range. It hits, it improves jack 10, jack 9, 8 10, 8 9. So I don't think we're going to be getting as many folds. So I think we're going to be checking here. And then if he bets, and I would have expected him to just shove all in at this point. If he bets, then GTO has us calling with the ace queen, which top pair probably, and I'd expect to be up against, at least a draw, if not a draw, then a pair, another pair, or possibly even the flush. What else? I think the smaller hands, 5 of clubs, I think any other of these small hands doesn't really change our betting too much. Might change our frequencies just slightly. So 63.8, 64.7, pair 64.6. We're still generally going to check some of these ace king, ace queen hands, use aces and jacks as kind of protect it. And especially with the jacks, we have basically all the cards out. So I think we'll end it here. I'm not sure how else we can go with it. I think given the short stack, it's one of those, we make our play, we make our bet on the flop, and then on the turn, that's our commitment point. We're either going to commit to the hand or we're not. And I think even with our checks, we would be committing. Well, we're checking with the intention of either check folding or checking with the intention of calling because, we have a draw or we have at least some pair. All right, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, look tomorrow for another one.